Welcome back, everyone. What is going on? We are live with our next barrel pick. Before we bring on our special guest, let's go ahead and see what we have in the chat tonight. See, we have Jameson. What's going on, Jameson? Cheers to you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, you're down in Chesapeake, Virginia. Okay. So, Jameson, I wonder if you're hanging out with Esther, who I see on the line here as well. What's going on, Esther? Cheers to you and Tom as well. Hello. John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you as well, my friend. Cheers, my buddy. Cheers, John. Debbie in the house. What's going on, Debbie? Cheers. South Carolina's finest, as they say. Good old South Carolina. Steve I. What's going on, Steve? From Jersey. Steve, remind me again, what part of Jersey are you from? I know you've told me this before in the past, but you got to remind me. The judge is a little off today. I just literally got back from my golf trip, so remind me again, Steve, what part of Jersey are you from? Joel, what's going on, buddy? Cheers, my friend. Good to see you. All right. South Carolina, indeed. Devontae, what's going on? Cheers, Devontae. How you doing, my friend? Good stuff. Cranford. Oh, man. Yes. So you are right by the train station, the Amtrak train station. Yes, indeed. I know Cranford very well. All right. That's cool. Good stuff. I think that's Gary Langford, GLA. What's going on, Gary? Cheers to you. Winslow and Pat, what's going on? Pat, I just got back from my Ocean City golf trip. I tore up the course. Oh, the course is not in a good way. Well, that's not true. Yesterday it was actually on point. I actually even rubbed my master's towel for good luck, and it actually did bring me really good luck. So I did really well yesterday. I should have rubbed it the first 2 days. Otherwise, my scores probably would have been a little bit better the first 2 days. But hey, I digress, right? It was a fun time, most important. So it was a good time all around. It's most important. Jasper, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Yep. Cheers to you as well from Little Rock. All right. There we go. Must be friends with my buddy David if you're from Little Rock. Okay. BBT Tom, what's going on, Tom? I saw Esther was there, so it's good to see you as well, my friend. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we have a special guest tonight. So one of our patrons, whenever we do a barrel pick for the channel, for our patron community and our patron family, rather, I always try to make sure that I can, if I'm in person, bring as many patrons as possible. But if I'm virtual, if I'm online, I try to, of course, ask for as much whiskey as possible. Every distillery, depends on how much whiskey they're able to give out. So for this barrel pick for ASW, we were able to get enough for 2 people. So myself and one patron. One of our patrons, our good friend David Shropshire, he's been with us for a long time. David actually attempted to do the last barrel pick for the Sagamore barrel pick, and unfortunately that barrel pick, not the barrel pick, but the box that went to David, unfortunately UPS, I think the UPS man had some fun times with my whiskey that day. Let's just say that. Unfortunately, the box never made it to David, so I had enough for one person. So I was like, you know what? David didn't get a chance to experience the barrel pick the last time, so let's make sure we have him on this time. So let's go ahead and bring on Mr. David Shropshire. If you live in the Delmarva area, you might know Fred Shropshire, our local newsman out of Philly. No relation. I did confirm that. Let's go ahead and bring David on. What's going on, David? How are you, sir?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Oh, big shout out to Jasper, who's just, I do know him. He's my best friend.
So, oh, very nice. Yeah. Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good stuff. So while we get started, David, real quick, I would love to know, first and foremost, tell everyone your, like, how did you get into bourbon, right? Like, tell everyone, I know you're located in Arkansas, but tell everyone, how you got into the whole whiskey scene. What was that startup like? And what was almost like, your gateway whiskey that just kind of, put its hooks in you. And it's like, you know what? I'm reeling this guy in. What was that like?
So I bartended for several years at a local restaurant, and I got into drinking scotch. I'd been drinking scotch for years, and then a buddy of mine was just like, "Hey," he bought me I think it was a bottle of Blanton's. One of my clients brought me a bottle of Blanton's, I
Okay.
was like, okay. I was like, I drink scotch, but this is, so I tried it and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And then long story short, I went to find a bottle of Buffalo Trace. I was still buying scotch like on a regular basis, and bourbon was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
And then liquor store that I was going to that was that was pretty close to my job, and basically I tried to get a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and
Mhm.
one of the guys there kind of screwed me over as far as getting the bottle. He said he didn't hold, they wouldn't hold it they wouldn't hold anything for anybody. And then I saw one, and then it was behind the counter, and I was like, "Hey, can I go ahead and buy that?" And he's like, "Actually, we're holding it for somebody." So
Oh,
basically, I got into bourbon out of revenge. So
okay.
I was like,
Out of revenge.
not really, but I was like, well, I'm gonna find this bottle. I don't care what you say. And then, along the way, you meet a lot of really good people, and other liquor stores that I'd gone to for several years, specifically Colonial Liquors and
Okay.
107 Liquor. They were like, hey man, well, if this is what you're looking for, this is how we set it up. So like 107 has it set up to where you buy one of their barrel picks, you can get allocated, and Buffalo Trace was allocated.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
and then raffles and kind of all that stuff. Colonial was really big as far as like education. They educate you in all kinds of liquor. There's a killer guy who works there named Chris Catoon, who is
Okay.
phenomenal. He's getting me into tequila too. So
Nice.
that was pretty much it. Bland's was kind of I know people call that the tater, but
That's
that was
okay.
that was kind of my gateway into it. But honestly, my true gateway into bourbon was there was a Woodford Reserve
Okay.
barrel pick from or not Woodford Double Oak Reserve barrel pick from Buster's, and
Okay.
then that spicy bee's knees pick that you did. That's when I was
Nice.
like, it's a wrap. I was like,
Nice.
I'm going for barrel picks. I mean, but I still have like that much left of the Woodinville. I'm like saving it for the wintertime, but that's what got me, man.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate the story.
Yeah.
Thanks for the background. That's cool. So it sounds like truly technically, so scotch was your gateway for whiskey, but then the revenge of the liquor store contact not getting you that bottle of Buffalo Trace or Blanton's is what made you like, you know what, I'm gonna find this whiskey. I'm gonna make sure I find it, and then you end up enjoying whiskey as a whole, above and beyond scotch. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Very nice. Very nice. So now keep me honest, David. The last barrel pick that we did for ASW, the Fiddler, the Georgia Heartwood. Did you get a bottle of this one?
I did not.
Did not. Okay.
No.
Cool.
And sadly enough, I'm gonna get roasted for this. I did not get a bottle of the Sagamore, the last one, the second pick.
Oh no, David.
But hold
man.
on. Time out. It was only because I went over my budget. So probably like a week before that, I found the Old Forester single barrel proof rye.
Yeah.
And then also found I already have the Michter's 10-year bourbon from last year.
Yeah.
And then I found like within a few days, I found a backup of that and a backup of the Michter's 2024 barrel strength rye.
Okay. All right. So that's fair.
I was like, oh my God.
You're on a budget. Hey, I get that. I respect that.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I respect that. So this day and age, whiskey costs a lot of money. So I respect that. I'm not going to, this is my last bottle of it. And I love this one, by the way. I absolutely love this one flat out, but I'm not going to open it until the new release, not just these that we're tasting today. Obviously we're going to pick one of them, but whenever it's bottled and like, cause obviously all three of these are still aging, the final product, that's why I want to taste side by side. So I'm going to hold off on cracking this bad boy, but I figure we'll pick a good one for the community, for our judge community tonight. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Let's see who else we got in here. I see Chip's in here. Oh, from Charleston, South Carolina. What's going on, Chip? Cheers to you, my friend. Some Rebel 10. Very nice. Speaking of whiskey, I know what I'm sipping on, but David, what are you sipping on this evening as like your entry, your I guess your gateway for tonight? What are you starting out with right now?
Green River.
Ooh.
Green River bourbon.
Okay.
I love it.
Very nice.
I love it. I'm gonna pour a little bit more actually.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. We got Andy and Todd on from 21090. What's going on, gentlemen? Cheers, my Maryland fellow whiskey tubers. Good to see you guys. Joseph from Ohio. What's going on, Joseph? Cheers, buddy. Cheers to you, man. Good stuff. All right. So I'm sipping on some Sagamore. This is the most recent barrel picks. I'll have to send you a sample of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool?
Redeem.
It's all good. All good. All right, let's go ahead and pour these real quick. We'll let these open up while we continue this journey for tonight. Oh man. So how is bourbon hunting in Arkansas? Because I know I've been to all but 10 states. Arkansas is one of 10 states that I've never been to. So you will have to answer for everyone out there. You're representing Arkansas tonight. So how is bourbon hunting in Arkansas? What's it like?
Well, for me, it's I don't want to say it's, man, I'm going to sound like a tool here. It's not really that challenging if you put in the effort.
Okay.
If you put in the effort. So the problem is, I feel like with hunting a lot of times is people just expect to go into a store and find it. And like, there's this magical circumstance where the owner's like, all these other people have asked for it, but you know what? You're the one. And like, they're going to get it. And that's not the case. So, knowing how to talk to people. And then also a lot of these stores I've been shopping at for several years, but, it's not, I don't think it's too bad, but you gotta put in the work. I mean, like I put in a lot of work. So knowing like when the trucks are going to show up and
absolutely,
and talking to people, telling people that I've gotten more allocated bottles from just telling people that I was into them. Oh, well, my buddy owns this store, or they give it to, because I'm a strength coach. So helping people out with issues are like, oh, well, let me see what bottle I can get you for helping me out, So you have to really put yourself out there, You do. I feel like a lot of people don't kind of do that, and like people might think they're like alcoholics.
Yep, so true, so true. You got to build so it sounds like a relationship. You got to build a relationship with people. You got to network.
You have to do that, and then also to understand that, I've got a lot of allocated bottles, and I share all of them that I can open. Everything that I have a lot that's not open because I'm just like, I'm running out of space, and my girlfriend found my stash behind the couch, like legitimately. So, it's, you just got to share as much as you can, man. It's, what's that? What they say? There's no empty bottles. They're either full of whiskey or full of memories.
Absolutely.
Randy Sullivan who said that. I think Yeah. So
I love that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Rob, thanks for the comment too, Rob. By the way, and it's funny this weekend, so whenever I go away, I know everyone's different, right? Some people might bring 3, 4, 5 different bottles, like having variety. Whenever I go on vacation, I bring one bottle with me. And it's funny you said that about which one was like your gateway. Rob said how much he enjoyed it as well. Rob laid back. I know Rob Sullivan is a big fan of the Bee's Knees as well. So the one bottle of whiskey I took with me to the beach to my golf trip was the Bee's Knees. I had so many of those. I just keep sipping it because I love that bottle. It's like, that's just like the OG first barrel pick for the channel, and I just truly love it. So
it's incredible. It's incredible.
That's a good one. Absolutely. All right, let's dive into ASW. So ASW, I know you didn't have this barrel pick before mine, but have you had any ASW before, the Fiddler, the whole Georgia Heartwood?
I have not. I was about to buy some.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, I just want to let it roll. I want to let it roll.
Hold off until we get to this. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So let's call it the Cliff Notes version of the ASW. Small craft distillery down in Georgia. They, as you can see on I don't know if I wrote it on yours, but if not, I think I may have put it on there. But each of their barrels, they put, at least for the Georgia Heartwood, they put their local Georgia Heartwood barrel staves into their whiskey, and that's how they kind of enhance it. So it's almost like a finished whiskey. It's almost like a double oaked, but not the traditional sense of double oak where it's a secondary barrel. They're just inserting staves to give the additional flavor.
Yeah.
So that's ASW as a whole. They have different products. They have like their they have different versions, like the Fiddler. They have the Soloist. They have the Georgia Heartwood. So a bunch of different ones. But we're doing the Georgia Heartwood. I think we need to go ahead and sip some whiskey. You ready for that, David?
Yeah, I'm always ready for that.
All right, man. All right. Where do you want to start? Do you want to go in order by barrel number? Do you want to start with like barrel 117, then we'll go to 436, and then 712?
Barrel 117.
Yep, 117. Let's do that. Let's start with that one first.
Yeah, let's roll with that.
All right, let's get into this. Ooh, look how dark that whiskey is. Goodness gracious. Ooh. So barrel 117. Hopefully I put it on there for you. It's 115 proof.
Yep, it's on there.
And it has 25 staves that they inserted.
Yep.
25 staves. Yes.
Getting all my stuff in order here.
King of Titusville, I guarantee you're gonna love some ASW. It's their whiskey is really, really good. I love craft distilleries. I'm a big fan of craft distilleries, and I love ASW. I mean, I think, for me, like you said earlier, David, kind of, going off the comment here, I'm a big fan of just finding really good craft distilleries. Allocated whiskey's there. It'll always be there. Everyone wants to get a bottle, including myself here and there. But really good single barrel picks, that is my jam. So I think you'll like this ASW King of Titusville for sure. All right. Woo! What do you get on the nose there, David?
I'm getting.
Gosh.
Kind of a cinnamon spice. A little like a kind of a damp wood.
Yeah, I agree. I almost get like almost like a pecan kind of a note, like a pecan, almost like a pecan pie kind of a note, almost in a way.
Man, you got to be careful with how you say that.
That's so true. Pecan.
People, they get along like Bloods and Crips, man.
That's so true.
You might get God in the parking lot for that one, Judge.
So true. Good point. But I get that point, though, you said about like a damp wood kind of a note. It's almost like,
yeah.
And I've not done a ton of hiking. Mrs. Judge is going to laugh at me, but when you go out, like when I used to hike a lot back in my younger days, I'll say, you go out like into like the forest, like like the first thing in the morning, it's a little cold out. You do smell like a damp kind of wood kind of note, like on a rainy day.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. So it's like a oaky pecan, almost like a damp wood kind of a note. Very nice.
Yeah. Very
nice. All right. Well, as we always say, we came here to sip whiskey, not to nose it. Hey, virtually. Cheers to you, David. I'm glad this package probably made it. Cheers, man. Ooh. Ooh, that's good. That's really good.
I like that.
Goodness gracious.
I like that.
That's nice. Very oak forward. So 25 staves, right? Very oak forward. It's sweet, but it's like a subtle sweetness, don't you think?
It's Let me take another.
Wow. That's nice. That's really, really nice.
It's like I don't really even know how to describe that. It's like it's peppery and it's a little like right when you think it's going to be a little bit too dry.
Yeah.
It levels out.
Yeah. It does.
Out. It's not it's a what's this kind of sweetness on man, it's I don't even know how. So it's basically like it's not like coffee, but if you ever put like a dash of sweetener or like heavy whipping cream in your coffee, how it gives it just a hint of sweetness. That's kind of what
correct. It does. It rounds it out.
Whipping cream. That's not a note. Don't kill me, everybody. Like,
No, I'm with you. It kind of levels it out, though. You're right, because like
yeah.
it's in the nose. I have that like that pecan pie kind of a note, which
Yeah.
to me is obviously a little bit more of a sweet. But you're right, the peppery cinnamon spice kind of levels it out a little bit. So it's sweet but spicy at the same time. Very equal balance. I like that. That's a good one. So John was talking about he bought the Fiddler toasted with the last Sagamore pick, I think it was, that in order to kind of save from a shipping standpoint. And that's a good point. I mean, the Fiddler toasted, the toasted bourbon and the toasted rye are also really good bottles. So for you as well, David, like ones to check out in addition to obviously the Georgia Heartwood, but the Fiddler toasted bourbon and rye, really, really good. Really good.
Nice.
Oh man, this is nice. This is good, David. Goodness gracious.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Ooh.
And now it's starting to like, I'm almost getting like a mild tobacco-y kind of mesquite. That's weird.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this one?
Everything.
It has like a certain on the back of the palate, it has like that almost like a note of like, if I was sipping this neat, it almost tastes like a dusty. It has like that, you said, like that damp oak wood, like it's been there like for a long time, like an older bottle of whiskey. It's sweet, but it's spicy. It levels out. It has like that tobacco note. It's really, really pleasant.
Yeah. I don't know that I haven't really had any dusties as far as like bourbon goes, but
sure,
I've had a few as far as Scotch goes, and I get that, and I tend to lean more towards Scotches that are kind of more bourbon flavored, you know. So that was probably it was probably always there. It's like, you know, like Luke Skywalker, it was always there. The Force,
always there, absolutely.
It was always there, calling me to the dark side of bourbon. So whatever.
I hear you. Rob Sullivan, what's going on, Rob? Yeah, I mean, all of ASW, Rob, you're absolutely right. All of their products are spot on, are really, really good. This is a hard one, though, because I know for me, the sign of a really good bottle or a really good pour is if it's hard to move on to the next one, it's really, really difficult. And for this one, I want to pour more, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to pour more, but I'm not going to sip it now. I'm going to save some just in case we got to come back. Just in case we come back. Oh, David, this is tough, man. This is tough.
I know drinking.
That was good. Someone has to do it. Someone has to do it, David. So tonight is you and I, my man. All right. What about, you ready to go over to 436?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. So barrel 436, everyone out there, I'm going to give some stats. Barrel 436 is almost the same proof, a little bit higher, 115.1. And this one has 18 stays. So 18 stays, and it's 115.1 proof, at least as of now. Again, obviously with the whiskey still in the barrels, the proof is going to, the final product of the proof will obviously be different, but for when they pulled it out, 115.1, 18 staves. So, all right, very nice. Nice little color to it. Some oiliness to it. I like that. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Now, to me, this nose is completely different.
Yeah.
This nose is a lot more like dark fruits. Plums, blackberries. Oh my gosh, this is completely different on the nose.
It smells like a Buffalo Trace product.
Yeah, in some ways it does. It's like a dark fruit. What do you get on the nose for this one?
So I am definitely catching a little bit of the fruit. Wow. It smells like icing to me. Like a little bit of that, like a mild icing.
Kind of like a sugary kind of a note, almost icing. Yeah. Almost like a confectionery sugar kind of a note.
Yeah. So like if you've ever had, like, who's never had cake? So anyway, like if you open it up It's not like you're close to the icing, but kind of like that loftiness from it. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Absolutely. So completely different category. This is more dark fruit, more sweet, sugary, where the last one was more oak, pecan, spice, and woody. This is completely different. Wow. So I love how they change it up and they go from like the last one was 25 staves. This is 18 staves. And the last one, oh my gosh. Goodness.
I'm curious
we'll
to
get to
see
last
how
one
the
later.
last one, I wonder if it's going to be even a little bit more oaky because of the amount of staves.
Yeah. I was thinking that also. The nose on barrel number 436 is not bad, man. This is
No.
completely different. I don't know. This is nice. I like it though. I like it a lot. All right. You ready to dive in this one?
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Oh. Oh, damn. Damn, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
Man.
Damn. Oh my gosh.
I like that.
Wow. Wow. This should be bottled now. Oh, my. Mm-mm-mm. This is, to me, a great combination of dark fruit meets a good balance of like wood with that sugary note that David mentioned. It's a perfect combination. Wow, that's really special.
I like this now.
Okay.
But I think fall, winter.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a mood kind of drinker too, like that.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Fall, winter. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good now. It's good now, but like around that time, man, it'd be a banger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Brian gave a good question here. So Brian said, hey Judge, can you kind of give like a quick, I guess like almost overview of how the stave profiles work with ASW? Is it similar to makers? Similar to makers, yes, in terms of the staves that they're using. Well, not the staves that they're using, but in terms of like they're using staves and so forth, but different than makers, for the fact of they're using their own Georgia Heartwood wood, if you will. They char it and everything, and then they put it into the whiskey. So from a palate standpoint, the whiskey's completely different than makers from that standpoint. But in terms of like conceptually, yes, they're putting wood staves into their whiskey to give it like that certain je ne sais quoi. To me, and a great question, by the way. To me, though, Brian, I would say that ASW, their stave process makes their wood a little bit more of like a traditional, like double oak, if you will, where makers, to me, it makes it just a little bit more sweet naturally. This is a little bit more oak forward, where I always feel like makers is just very bottom line sweet. This is way more deep oak, leather, tobacco-y. That's the ASW. It's very much more tobacco-y. But what do you think, David, the comparison between like a makers, some of their wood finishing series versus what you've tasted thus far with ASW? What do you think?
So I've only had the BRT 1 and 2 and the BEP.
Okay.
Those tend to be very like chocolatey fruit forward. The BEP was a little bit more oaky, was a little bit more kind of that. Honestly, man, I'm a mood drinker, but the BEP I feel like I know a lot of people kind of didn't like it, but I feel like that was kind of the most balanced out of all of them.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I wasn't into bourbon back when they had, the FAE or whatever, all those. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I missed all of those. So
sure. Makes sense.
But honestly, I feel like those staves are a little bit more powerful.
Yeah.
Like you're getting a little bit more. And I like this more. I like the subtleties of it. Like, You know, the Maker's Mark staves are kind of like Rick James, you know, grinding his feet in your couch. You know? And these are a
The
little
Rick
more
James.
like, yeah, these are more like a polite house guest. So
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
Joe asked a really good question. So, Joe, how does this compare to my last ASW pick? So, I'm going to give you comparisons for both. In my opinion, this first one we tried, the one with 25 staves, it's almost like a carbon copy of this one here, the original barrel pick that we did with ASW. This one here is the second one with actually, oddly enough, less staves in it, only 18 staves. This one to me is a bit more well-rounded, only because it gives like that fruit element, like that dark fruit note that we were talking about, the like the plum notes, the blackberries, but then also like that sugar, kind of a confection sugary note. So that's how it's a little bit different. My last barrel pick was oak for days. This one thus far is a little bit better, well-rounded, honestly, in some ways. Only because I do love like the whole combination of that dark fruit meets like leather meets sugar kind of a note. So that is pretty special. David, that's pretty special, man.
I like it.
Me too.
I like it a lot.
Woo, boy. Cheers to you, Jeff. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Got to leave a little bit, though, in case we got to come back, just to make sure, because sometimes whiskey does change.
It does. It does.
All right. So, quick question for you, David, before we move over to barrel number 712. Let everyone know out there, are you more of, now that you're into whiskey, right? I mean, you were into whiskey before with scotches, but now you're into like the whole whiskey, like American whiskey, I should say. Are you more of a bourbon guy or a rye guy, and why?
You know, again, I have to default to the mood.
Okay.
I've got the the Driftless Glen Rye that you did, that pick. I got the Pumpernickel, the last one. I got all that, and I really, really like them. But I tend to drink my ryes more in the wintertime. Certain ones more, especially the higher proof, more in the wintertime.
Okay.
But I mean, I would have to lean slightly more towards bourbon, just because bourbon, it could be. I mean, I've been able to share more bourbon than rye.
Okay.
Because rye is like, and that's the thing too. It's like it doesn't, you know, if I'm just sitting in a room by myself drinking, that's cool. But ultimately, like you want to share it with people. So I lean a little bit more towards bourbon. So it's a little more approachable, especially given the kind of ryes that I kind of like the more earthy kind of ryes. I'm a big fan of Michter's. Michter's ryes are like,
they are.
Michter's is officially my favorite. Like, I got to bow down to Michter's, man. But I would lean a little bit more towards the bourbon, you know, because you can mix and match it. You can add a little bit of water. You can add, you know, a cube or whatnot. But rye, some of it's just like people try it and they're like, whoa.
Yeah. So
I'm leaning a little bit more towards bourbon.
You're more of a bourbon guy. I get it. Yeah. I would say for myself, and before we'll move over to 736 in a second. Or sorry, 712 rather. But for me, I would say if you asked me that question 2 years ago, I was definitely more of like a 80-20, 70-30 bourbon versus rye guy. Now I'm probably more 60-40, 60% still bourbon, 40% rye. I will say I found definitely a brand new love and respect for ryes, because ryes can go in so many different directions. You know, there are some sweeter ryes, spicier ryes, very earthy ones, more minty ones. But I definitely have developed a true, genuine love of ryes. But in my heart of hearts, I'm still always a bourbon guy. Still a bourbon.
I mean, you're the bourbon judge, so I mean, if you could be the bourbon judge but identify as a Roger. I mean, you can do whatever you want, man.
Exactly.
But I will say this though, I really do appreciate like a lot of the things that you pick are things that and that you talk about are a lot of things that a lot of whiskey YouTubers, I don't want to say, I'm not like trying to crap on anybody, but it seems like you're ahead of the curve as far as like things that are actually like that you can get, that are craft, that are, you know, maybe local to certain areas that are really good. It's more like, I mean, yeah, allocated stuff, it's cool. I have a lot of allocated bottles, and usually when I share them with people, they're like,
Yeah,
that's all right.
sure.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let's try this, you know, let's try this Buzzard Roost. And they're like, ooh.
I appreciate that. Thank you,
know,
man.
so
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
that's really cool, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, thanks for the kind words. I do appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, let's dive into this last barrel. This is an interesting one, everyone out there. So this one is barrel number 712, the highest proof, 115.6. So they're all in that 115 range, but 115.6 proof. However, here's the kicker. The first one had 25 stays. The second one had 18 stays. This last one has 30 staves. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it has 30 staves. That is interesting. I'm trying to see if this old one had the number of staves. It doesn't have it on here. I was looking to see if my last one had the number of staves, the one that we picked. I can't remember. I might actually have it in here, back in my notes. But look how dark that is.
Yeah, it's yeah.
That's like Texas whiskey dark.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, Winslow. If you're still out there, that's a good thing. You know, I'm a big fan of Texas whiskey. I'm just saying Texas whiskey is dark. And this looks like Texas whiskey. Oh my gosh, that is dark.
Motor oil.
Woo! Goodness gracious. Oh man, look at that. Look at the oils. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's thick.
Oh boy, this nose.
PHICC.
Woo! This nose is right. This nose is complicated. Oh my gosh. Oh, David, what are they doing with this nose? This is crazy, man.
I think we found Jason Bourne.
What'd you say?
I think we found Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I think we did. Seriously, hiding in like the most remote area of somewhere like out like in another country. Oh man, what is that? That's like it's almost like a dark raisin kind of a note. Oh man, like a dark raisin. Oh man, what are you getting on the nose there for this one?
It smells almost like a date.
Yes. Damn, you're good, man. You are good. That's it. It does. It smells like a date.
Wow. I feel like I've smelled this before.
It does. It has like a date meets like a little bit of like leather. Oh man, that's so nice though. It's almost like a if you take like a date with like some leather and like some really, really good like dark fruits. But it's not fruity like the last one. It's more of like a extreme dark fruit kind of a note.
It's like a muted cigar blend. It's like a date, kind of like a muted cigar blend. That's kind of
it is. I like that. Oh man, this is nice. Oh boy. All right. 115.6 proof. Let's do it, David.
Let's do it.
Cheers, man. Cheers, everyone out there as well. Thank you guys all, by the way, everyone who's watching the channel tonight. Really appreciate each and everyone out there. Cheers to each and every one of you guys. And ladies as well.
Oh.
Oh.
Man.
Oh. That's bitey, boy. That, to me, sips like 125 proof. Is that just me?
That's a little, no. I mean, it's a little hot.
That's hot, right?
It's a little hot.
Woo! Oh, jeez.
Gotta make sure I let my girl know I'm talking about whiskey. Whiskey, baby.
Yes. Mrs. Judge knows we're definitely talking about whiskey.
I don't want my feed to cut off.
Yeah. We'll start calling you the athletic trainer formerly known as David Shropshire.
The athletic trainer that was.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny. That is too funny.
Yeah,
oh man,
I like that.
What's going on, Jeff? Cheers, buddy. Oh man, this is nice, man. This is good though. But this to me, honestly, it's different because this kind of does taste a little bit like a Texas whiskey. It's like it's kind of left Georgia and it's driving on whatever highway that you can leave Georgia to head toward Texas. It's headed in that direction.
This one doesn't have the other two. Still had a little bit of the mesquite on it. I don't get that on this at all. I mean, it's just very. It's like a mild. It's like it's more pronounced than the other two, but it's. I can barely catch it on here.
You're right. It does lack the mesquite notes, right? Big time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
You say you like it?
I do.
You do. Uh-oh. All right. I know what I need to do, David. For me personally, I have to go back to the three of these. I'm going to go back through them 1 through 3 one more time. And then maybe what we can do is maybe we can agree to vote one off and then we'll decide between the two. Is that cool?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. I like that. Let me move my old Sagamore to the back corner. The one David does not have a sample of, but we're going to get him. We're going to get him some.
Oh, man,
No, I'm just messing with you.
By the way, I found all of those 3, the Old Forester and the other 2 Michters at MSRP.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Yeah, Connor, I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree, Connor. I mean, it does sound like 3 could potentially be a winner, but there's one other one, Connor, that stands out. And that's why I want to go back, Connor, and just try all 3, like, side by side, and then kind of figure out, is 3 the winner? I don't know. 3 is definitely different. But there's another one out here, Connor, that I think it might be better in some ways. It might be better, honestly. So we shall see. We shall see. Is it number 1? Or to Debbie's point, is it number 2? We shall see. I don't know. All right. It's time to go back. I'm going back to number 1.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So number 1, we had notes of pecan, cinnamon spice, damp wood note, peppery, but kind of levels out a little bit, and like a clean tobacco kind of a finish. All right.
Pretty much the same. I'm getting a little bit of molasses on it now, but everything else is pretty much still there, a little bit more pronounced.
Mm-hmm. It is. Number 1, to me, is definitely a carbon copy of our first barrel pick. It really is. It really is. And I love this one. But there's one of the other 2 that I might like a little bit more. But I'm going to hold off. What do you think about number 1?
I like it, but I think it's kind of more like a I mean, man, compared to these 2,
it's not in the same category, right?
It's not. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
but it hasn't leveled up. It hasn't reached that. I don't know, and it's strange because this one has 25 staves. The last one has 30, and the second one has 18.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like if it hasn't matured enough. Like my uncle said, you young yet. You young yet, boy. Yeah,
You're young.
you young yet. Yeah.
That is so true. Rick, Rick brings up a good question. Rick, and I wish I did know this, Rick. Unfortunately, I do not have the mash bills, Rick. I wish I did have them. Unfortunately, that's not something that is shared with or from ASW. I'll try to find out though. So what I'll do is when I go back, when we select the winner tonight, I'll email the team over at ASW. I'll let them know which barrel we picked, but I will ask for the final mash bill, at least of the one that we picked. Cool. So I'll get that for you, Rick. At least I'll ask. I don't know if they'll share it, but all I can do is ask for sure. But that's a great point. Really good point. So I'm kind of with you, David. Do we want to go ahead and just kind of rule out number 117, the first one?
Yep, its flame has been extinguished.
I think so. You are officially the weakest link.
Yeah.
Barrel number 117.
Yeah.
Oh.
Still
All right.
really good though. Still really good, but you know.
So hold on. Here we go. I'm looking for this. I'm looking to see. Now, what's interesting is I did have the mash bills the first time around, Rick Cluse. I'm looking back at my notes. So the one we went with, unless I make sure I wrote this down correct, it had 55% corn, 44% wheat, 5% malted barley. That was the first one we did. But I don't have them for this one. So I'll find out. So they gave it to me before. So I'll find out. If they give it to me before for the first barrel pick, I don't see why they wouldn't share it this time. So I'll find out, Rick. That's a great point, Rick. All right. So I think David and I agreed. We want to go ahead and eliminate barrel number 117. Truly the weakest link. And I think that's awesome. Man, look, see, this is why I love our patron community. Our patron Tom Newcomb said he's going to reach out to you, David. If you're interested in a bottle, he can hook you up with the bottle of the Sagamore, the one that just sold out recently. So I'll connect you guys.
Cool, thank you. We can work something out. I've got a few bottles here too. We can make something happen.
A little exchange. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Tom. Tom and Esther. Oh man, gentleman and a scholar. I love it. That's awesome. You're a good man. Thanks so much, Tom. All right. So number 117, I'm going to put a big X through it. Is done. Let's keep this train moving. All right. 2 and 3. Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Between 2 and 3. All right, I gotta go to 2. Let's go to 2 first, real quick. You hit the nail on the head. That confectionery sugar kind of a note mixed with the dark fruit is so prevalent. Wow, your nose is like really on point, David. Seriously. Your nose is on point, man.
Thank you. It's normally not.
That's like that dark fruit. It does. It's that dark fruit, but then it's wood, oak, but then it's the confectionery sugar note. That's nice, man. Goodness.
I'm gonna pour a little bit more. I know my buddy Jay is watching this. He's like, save some of the samples for me. All right, brother.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. Triage, brother. Triage. Sorry.
Indeed. That is the great thing about whiskey. It really is. It really is. You talked about that earlier, and I would say when someone actually I was on my golf trip, and a lot of my buddies I was on the golf trip, they're not whiskey guys, they're just golf guys. But they were asking me, they're like, so what do you like so much about whiskey? And I said, obviously I love whiskey itself, but what I love more about whiskey is sharing it with people, right? Like being able to sit back, talk, hang out. I mean, to me, that is like what whiskey is all about. Just sharing it with people, meeting up. Like, for example, one of our patrons, does a huge whiskey meetup thing. Our buddy Dennis down in Virginia. I mean, he has 50, 60 people there. I mean, to me, like going and hanging out with like a big group of people like that, that's what whiskey's all about. You know, it's not just sitting back drinking it by yourself. It's hanging out with people, enjoying the experience, sharing a bottle that someone else may have that you don't have, and that kind of overall experience. That's what whiskey's all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
My last moment with my dad was sharing a glass of whiskey.
Oh man, that's nice. Yep.
So,
that's very nice.
Yeah, he happened to be in town. They were on tour. They were traveling through, and he just out of the blue one day hit me up, said, "Hey man," because the drivers have to log so much sleep.
Yeah.
He's like, we're heading through. He's like, is it cool if we stop in Little Rock and hang out? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he came through and came by the house, and we had a drink.
That's nice, man. That's wonderful.
That was it.
Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing that with us. What kind of band was he in?
He was in. He was the one of the original bass players for George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Cordell Boogie Mawson. That's my dad.
Oh.
Yeah,
man.
First time we hung out was when he got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
It's a story. It's a long story. But
we're gonna have to get into that another night, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's what we're definitely
get into that another night. That's awesome, man. Well, hey, let's cheers. Let's have number 3 and cheers to your father. How about that? In his honor. Cheers to your dad, man. Ooh, number 3 is deep. Damn, I feel like number 3 puts some hair on your chest. I mean, I feel like my hair, like my shirt, just going. Well, like hair is just growing. Number 3 is no joke.
That's what makes my beard grow.
That's what number 3. You just start sipping it. It's like
I literally saw it on camera, just a little bit more.
All right, this is tough. This is tough, folks. So we have 2 different whiskeys. Honestly, we have a dark fruit, sweet confectionery sugar whiskey, if you will. And then we have like a dark raisin, almost like a date kind of a note that has a it almost kind of plays in the same lane as like a softer Texas whiskey in a way. But it does lack that mesquite note that you do get with a lot of Texas whiskey. So it's not still Texas, it's still in the Georgia category. But it's much more bold, if you will. So the question is, which one do we go with? Which one do we go with? This is tough. And we don't have a tiebreaker. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. That's nice. See that? I love that. Steve said, great memory, David. Cheers. That's nice, man.
Cheers. Thank you, brother.
From your dad's memory. That's wonderful. That's really nice. Really nice. Man. Stan. Definitely Stan.
All right.
You gotta,
brother. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Stan's a good guy. Cool guy from Virginia himself. So good man there. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. All right. I know which one I love both of these in different ways, but I do think there is one that will appeal to the masses, and I actually think the one that is just better flat out. But I'm gonna let you give your vote first. So your vote is
2.
Number 2. Oh,
my vote is 2. So the reason being is that I really like 3. I'm a little bit of a proof hound.
Okay.
And I like it. To me, it's definitely a banger. But as far as just like overall, and then also like what is everybody gonna enjoy?
Yeah.
I think this, like, which one would I reach for on a regular basis? It would be number 2. Like 3 is good.
Yeah.
But like I would drink this. Honestly, I would drink this today. Like I would drink it, and it's in the middle of summer in Arkansas. I would drink it now.
Yeah.
I would drink it in I I would drink it on a bus. I would drink it. It's like green eggs and ham, you know.
Thanksgiving. I'm drinking number
Yeah,
2.
yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Really like that. I really like it. So
I love it. Well, folks, I am here to say, and Paul G, my buddy Paul, Paul, you are absolutely spot on, man. You know, those dark fruit notes are amazing. I think David hit the nail on the head. So if you ask me which one am I what I pick, hands down, are you gonna use the gavel? Absolutely. Number 2 is flat out, I think, amazing. I actually think it's leaps and bounds better than the first one we picked. The first one is more like barrel number 117, the first one that we picked as well, right? I kind of put it over here. It's like this one. It really is. It's very dark, dark leather, some tobacco notes, but bottle number 2 or barrel number 2, barrel number 436, 115.1 proof with actually, funny enough, the least number of staves, only 18 staves. So it goes to show, right? You don't have to have the largest number of staves. It had the most complexity. It's the most well-rounded, those dark fruits. And then what you said, David, that confectionery sugar note, right? It's the perfect balance. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's truly wonderful.
I really like it.
This is awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, this has been a blast. David, I want to say thank you, man, for taking time out of your night. I know you are super busy with all your strength training, your yoga studio. You have so much going on in your life with your lovely lady as well. So thank you for making time, man, to hang out with me tonight. I really do appreciate it, man.
And thank you. Thank you. I know that, I know this is your passion and your love, and it's really awesome to be a part of that and to be able to share that with you and everybody out there. So it's good times, man. It's good times. So
Indeed, absolutely. For everyone else out there watching, we have this here. So this is going through Shared Pour, our good friends over at Shared Pour. Shared Pour is a great partner to work with. First and foremost, if you guys haven't bought any bottles from Shared Pour, make sure you check them out. First and foremost, such an awesome partner. So this is going to go through Shared Pour, and we have our mystery barrel pick. So at the end of this week, I'll be in Kentucky at the end of next weekend. I'll be in Kentucky doing another barrel pick for the channel. We're doing it's the mystery pick. That's gonna be a fun one. Another barrel pick with another similar. I almost gave it away, man. I almost slipped. I almost slipped with a different distillery, a different brand. But that's gonna be a fun one for the judge community as well. And our goal is just to keep bringing great whiskey to the Bourbon Judge family community. But for everyone who tuned in tonight, Stan, Winslow, Pat, Tom, Esther, everyone else out there, Debbie, Rob Layback, Rob from Rob Sullivan, and most important, David Shropshire. Thanks again for joining us. As we say, peace, cheers, and most important, salute. Take care, everyone. Cheers, everyone. See you guys.